Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast of Alexandra Mayers Live. So, tonight I have been playing with some virtual camera software that I have. I recorded an entire political commentary revolving around the Trump versus Stormy Daniels situation and my thoughts on Michael Avenatti, but the video portion of the file did not record correctly. So I guess it wasn't meant to be. I'll go ahead and put that on the shelf for another day. But tonight I wanted to talk about an issue that I don't think anyone, at least not that I've seen in the mainstream media, has ever really touched on, because it is a bit of a sensitive subject. But I feel it's about the time for it to see the light of day, so I'll go ahead and throw it out there on the public stage. Tonight I want to discuss the concept of revenge racism. Yes, revenge racism. I know all of you out there probably have heard about revenge porn, but maybe you've never thought about revenge racism. Well, I have, because I've actually witnessed quite a few porn stars fall victim to it. Now, what is revenge racism? From my perspective, revenge racism is when a target is recorded without their knowledge, stating something or agreeing with something that is very racist that they normally would not state publicly. Now, I'm sure some of you out there might say, well, whatever you say behind closed doors, you should be willing to say in public. Ideally, yes. If we were all completely honest and genuine human beings, ideally, yes. And maybe we're heading toward a world to where that is the case. But a lot of times when people are among friends or with someone who they view as their romantic partner, they want to be accepted. They want to fit in. So oftentimes such people will say things that they do not mean. And I'm someone who feels actions speak louder than words, especially when it comes to judging a person's character. And I do feel that there have been quite a few people throughout history, and just even people that I know, who have been accused of being racist who in fact are not racist. And I feel that there are people who are genuine racists who are so miserable in their lives that they're so desperate for company that they're willing to go out there and entrap others to be labeled as they are, just so that they don't feel alone in their hate. Now, when I talk about revenge racism, I am especially talking to young women out there. Now, of course, men can be victims of revenge racism too. They might end up in a relationship with somebody who's like, ha ha ha, remember when we had a conversation about such and such the other night and you used the N-word? Well, I secretly recorded you. Of course it can happen to a guy. But it'll more readily, from my perspective, happen to a woman, because we're living in an age right now to where a lot of men really do believe that if they have the means to somehow blackmail a woman into remaining in a relationship with them, then by all means they should go ahead and move forward with whatever means they have to do such an act. And that's what's happening. I'm seeing it especially happening when it comes to the adult entertainment world, and when it comes to pimps attempting to either coerce or blackmail their targets, their victims, who they are sex trafficking, into remaining with them. Over the past few months, I have seen about 5 different fairly well-known sex workers be labeled racist when in fact they are not racist. And I think that the reason it's happening is because revenge porn does not work as an effective weapon against them. I think that these sex workers, in other words, porn stars who are being labeled racist, are being labeled as such by their pimps or by bloggers who are controlled by their pimps. And I think it's wrong. And I think that somehow there needs to be some sort of legal action taken against people who are utilizing revenge racism against these targets who I've mentioned tonight. One thing I do want to warn individuals, especially young women, about is saying things behind closed doors that you normally wouldn't want to be made public. If you're dating a guy who most likely has no problem using racist terminology behind closed doors with you, then not only is he a terrible person that you probably shouldn't be with anyway, but what do you think would stop them from recording you using that terminology to use against you later, to either demand money or prevent you from attaining certain things in life later, prevent you from attaining certain social connections later? What's to stop them from utilizing that to prevent you from attaining jobs that you want later? I'm seeing it happen every day in the adult entertainment industry blogosphere, actually. So don't say anything racist behind closed doors. Don't say it in public if you're not a racist. Don't even think it. I think one of the ways that the world can become a better place is by consistently thinking positive and productive thoughts. Easier said than done, but it is doable. So that's all for tonight. And if you want to check out more of me, you can always go to alexandramayerslive.com, and there you'll actually find links to the podcast that I've been hosting weekly, which is Porn News Today Live. And if you're curious about the inner workings of the adult entertainment industry, then Porn News Today Live is right up your alley. Anyways, have a good evening, everybody. See you later.